Namaste, I'm Julie. Welcome to my channel, Your Self Yoga for Menopause. If you are new here, a big welcome, and if you've been before, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing my story. Why? Because I want you to know that it is never too late to start yoga. Menopause yoga is very welcoming and forgiving, and you can start at any stage. So stay tuned, find out how I got started, how bad I was, and just what my journey has been like since. So I guess my perimenopause awakening was kind of mid to late 40s, and my symptoms were the most awful joint pain, hip pain, but especially in my toes, toe joint pain. Who knew, right? It was so painful. Getting out of bed, putting my feet on the floor first thing in the morning was really challenging. Brain fog. I ran my own PR business, and it was really difficult at times, keeping on top of everything, struggling in meetings, trying to remember what was what, and that feeling of constant overwhelm and not being the person you used to be. And anxiety. I was living in America from just over the age of 50. I went to live in America and with my husband's job, and I had to do a lot of transatlantic travel because my company was based in the UK, and the anxiety that would give me was off the scale, but I had to keep everything together. I didn't even know what it was, right? There was no mention of perimenopause back then. I went to see a doctor, told this doctor, who was a female by the way, about the horrendous hip pain and the toe joint pain, and she sent me for a scan because she said I clearly got a problem with my hips and it could be arthritis. No mention of perimenopause. But of course the scan was clear. It was nothing to do with arthritis. So those are my symptoms. In terms of exercise, I was a swimmer. I used to swim constantly from the age of 17, right? If I could swim every day, I was in my happy place. But that was grinding to a halt because I kept getting ear infections. So I was kind of on the brink of looking for another form of exercise. Now, if you're anything like me, you don't class yoga as an exercise, or I didn't, right? Even my doctor didn't. He wouldn't tick the box when I said, oh, yoga, I do yoga. He didn't tick the box because he didn't class it as an exercise, right? So I was not drawn to yoga. I like to move. In my mind, yoga was all about sitting still on a mat, and I'm not very good at sitting still, and it just never ever appealed to me. So how did I get started with yoga? How I got started was I have my husband to thank 100%, because he could see I wasn't myself. I was very out of sorts. I felt very withdrawn in social situations. I didn't feel like I was the person I used to be. I couldn't put my finger on it, and the anxiety was really becoming a big thing when I was doing all the flying. He suggested yoga, and we couldn't find any classes. He said he would do it with me. He said it would help calm me, right? And so we found a private yoga teacher, and she got me started in yoga. And at the age of 53, I stepped on a yoga mat for the very first time. I hated every minute. I couldn't do it. Just sitting in the cross-leg pose was so hard. My knees were like pyramids, stuck up, and I found it really hard. I really longed for the lesson to be over. But by the time she left in that one lesson, something happened. The magic happened. I felt completely different. I felt calm. I felt like something had shifted, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And I knew I wanted to do it again. So I used to do weekly private yoga lessons in my home and absolutely loved it. But it wasn't until over time, maybe a few months, that I started to notice differences, right? So physically, I felt lighter. I felt more flexible. My hips didn't hurt as much, and the toe joint pain was vanishing. I felt much more clear-headed, like I had more clarity about things. I felt happier. I had more of a spring in my step, and I just felt like I could cope more, right? Was it a coincidence? Was it the yoga? So this set me on a path, because I highly suspected it was the yoga, to finding out if yoga could help with menopause. And here's what I found. I found out that yoga can actually alleviate more symptoms than many other solutions like HRT and so on. More symptoms, right? We have the physical symptoms, the mental symptoms, the emotional symptoms, and yoga ticks most boxes, right? There are 36 official symptoms, and yoga can cure most of them, alleviate them, ease them, however you want to define it. So, and it was startling. The evidence was there, but like it wasn't well known. And this started me thinking about teaching. Maybe what I discovered I could share with other women and spread the word. But there were two things. One was, did I have the confidence to teach? And two, like, how would I find those women? Like, how would this happen? So this set me on my teacher training path, right? I don't do things by halves. I sold my company and I enrolled in teacher training. I was living in Miami at the time. I found the most amazing studio, the most amazing teacher, and she gave me the confidence and the courage to be able to do it. Of course, I was the oldest in the class, but that didn't matter, right? It was my own inner strength and drive that enabled me to do it. But I was still nervous at teaching menopause yoga, right? How would this happen? So I started teaching privately in Miami, zooming around, teaching privately, mainly women, to get the confidence, to get the courage, to get the experience, right, of me listening to my voice and trying to work in little bits of what I'd learned about how yoga can help menopause and what my experience was. Then I came across a lovely lady based in London who had set up a course helping yoga teachers gain qualifications in a certification called Menopause Yoga. And I enrolled immediately online. I was in Miami, she was in London, and I gained this qualification. It was like something was shining down on me, because this is what I didn't think was possible. And I managed to find this certification, and that was just the oomph I needed. In between this time, I also took certifications in restorative yoga, yin yoga, and these added to my qualification in vinyasa yoga. So I'd got quite a bit of experience by this time. I'd obviously got the experience of menopause, and I was ready to sell it to the world. But how would I do it? So first of all, I set up a Facebook group, Yoga for Perimenopause, and started sharing tips and advice, inspiring people to start yoga, started offering classes, and this quickly grew to a wonderful community, and I kind of pitched my yoga really at beginners, because I fully understood how they would be feeling, because it's how I felt. Could I do it? Is it for me? Maybe I don't look the right shape. I'm too inflexible. And yeah, and that really, really took off. I created a course, which I still run today, Track to Transformation. And that course really was a runaway success and really helped women kind of evaluate where they were at with the menopause, looking at nutrition, of course, incorporating yoga, meditation, looking at setting boundaries, relationships, sleep habits, like the full kit and caboodle, if you like. And but it was after the course had ended that they'd been having lots of yoga throughout the 6-week period, that there was nowhere for them to go. So I created a membership. My membership is called My Yoga Journey, still running today, and literally has been amazing. And the women who are members of this platform have access to all my teaching, all my content, and plus lots more besides. And we have the most amazing community. I also then started running my own retreats. I'd started in America, but it was nice now to be able to do menopause retreats, and I specifically call them menopause wellness retreats, the emphasis being on the positive, and it's not just a yoga retreat. Obviously yoga is included, but they are retreats for women to escape, and they're all called Escape to Spain, Escape to the country. So just that opportunity to step off the wheel, the hamster's wheel, and to be able to let go and be in the company of like-minded women, and the joy it brings to see women who leave those retreats having had the most amazing experience and really, really changed their mindset and the way they feel physically. It's incredible. So I also do one-to-one coaching with women through my membership for those women who want a little bit more guidance or really want to kind of unpack their own potential, like where can they go, how can they change their mindset, how can they deal with this. And we work with vision boards, we work on goal setting and so on. And I also teach private one-on-one. So this whole thing, from not knowing if I could teach, from not knowing where would I find my menopausal ladies, has snowballed and grown, and it's absolutely incredible. So where am I today as a student and teacher? As a student, it's funny because I do believe in boundaries, and I teach yoga for symptoms. So I'll teach flow yoga for feeling uplifted, for releasing tension. I'll teach restorative yoga for calming the mind and dealing with anxiety, and yin yoga for dealing with joint pain and so on. But the yoga that I love to practice is Ashtanga yoga, because I love the discipline, I love the repetition, I love the strength it gives you, and that's what I practice most days. And I've also moved more across to the spiritual side, which I never thought I would, but I felt ready for it, and I'm really enjoying discovering a lot on that side. And also really kind of trying to always inspire through my own conduct, my own behavior, my own attitudes, but also thoughts, positive words, inspiration, and so on. And it's lovely to see the women blossom who are really kind of like open to this approach, and see them having found this natural solution that can alleviate the symptoms, but do more than that. Yeah, it goes way beyond more when you embrace yoga, meditation as part of your daily being. So in terms of the future, my journey continues. We never stop learning in yoga. I recently took a Yoga Nidra qualification, which I've added Yoga Nidra classes to my platform to help with sleep, to help with rest in the body, rest in the mind, and always busy planning retreats, running retreats, and even attending retreats myself. I'm a big believer, and we have to make time for ourselves when we're teaching, and I'm looking forward to a forthcoming Ashtanga retreat. And really just listening to my ladies and trying to remember what I felt like at the age of 53 when I first stepped on that yoga mat. I really wished I had someone there to guide me like I can guide you, and the knowledge that I'm able to now pass on will to help you. I really wished I'd had that, but it doesn't matter because I am here today because of that, and my job is to share it all with you. So I hope you enjoyed watching this and have learned something about me. And if you are new to yoga and you don't know where to start, you don't quite know what mat to buy, when's best to practice, all of that, I have a super handy little guide which is free, a beginner's guide to starting yoga. I'll drop the link below, and please download and go for it. You are never too old, you are never too inflexible. You can access a natural solution which can ease most of your symptoms, and just roll the mat out. And as William Wordsworth said, to begin, begin. Namaste.